Hello. Today I'm going to be reading you a story called Mr. Jack, a Little Dog in a Big Hurry by Christine Moreton Shaw and Thomas M. Müller. Here's the postman going to Mr. Jack's office. He's dropping off some letters to Mr. Jack. It's just over here. Mr. Jack was a little dog with a big desk. He had a big elephant telephone, a big bug stapler, and a big clock cat. Everything Mr. Jack owned was big. Everything except his glasses, which were very, very small. On this very special day, Mr. Jack had just finished work. He switched off his office light and locked up for the night. "Good night, Miss Jones," said Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack always went home the same way, and he had a little song. First through the subway, for a marketplace roam, take the bus to the park, then through the shops, home. But tonight, Miss Jones realised that things were about to go horribly wrong. "Oh, Mr. Jack, come back, come back. You've forgotten your glasses." Mr. Jack, however, was far too busy listening to his tummy. It was going rumble, 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 rumble. And he was in a hurry to get home because tonight there was a very special, very big something waiting for him. So off he scurried into the subway. "Oh no, Mr. Jack, come back, come back. That's not the subway. That's the sewer." Brrr, how chilly and dark. And as for the smell, pooh. Poor Mr. Jack was awfully lost. "But look, police officers. Thank goodness for that," said Mr. Jack. "Excuse me, which way is the market?" he asked. They showed him the way to the market all right. Those smugglers chased him all the way there. "Oh no, Mr. Jack, come back, come back. That's not the market, that's the docks." "My word," said Mr. Jack. "What a messy market. Just look at all those boxes, higgledy-piggledy." Just then, Mr. Jack's tummy went grumble, rumble, 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 rumble. And then he remembered why he was hurrying home. He licked his lips. "Heavens," said Mr. Jack. "Where's my bus? I just can't wait to get home." "Oh no, Mr. Jack, come back, come back. That's not a bus, that's a banana truck." Poor Mr. Jack. He lifted his hat politely to all the banana sacks. "Good evening, gentlemen," he said. Mr. Jack hummed to himself. First through the subway, for a marketplace roam, take the bus to the park, and then through the shops, home. He jumped out at the first stop. There were great iron railings of the park with waving palm trees. "Mr. Jack, Mr. Jack, come back, come back. That's not the park, that's the zoo." "He's at the zoo, look. He's a lion." Mr. Jack smelt the flowers, fed the ducks. They're not ducks, they're seals. Listened to the band and met some very lively children. It was all rather odd. By the time Mr. Jack came out of the zoo, he was very, very hungry. Excuse me. He was very, very hungry. His day was turning out to be rather peculiar. His hat was battered, he smelled of bananas, and he still had a long way to go. "Maybe I'll stop in this cafe for a little rest," he said. Miss Jones watched him, and she squeaked. "Oh yes, Mr. Jack, go in, because that's not a cafe, that's the optician's." There he goes. Mr. Jack asked for some lemonade. May I suggest that you need spectacles, sir?" said the optician. Mr. Jack was puzzled. He said, "Spectacles? But my dear, I'm already wearing spectacles." Felt his face, but there was nothing there. "Here, try these," said the optician. And as soon as Mr. Jack put them on, everything became clear. And gracious, there was Miss Jones. "Oh dear," said Mr. Jack. "Have I done it again?" But then Mr. Jack's tummy went He smiled a very big smile and remembered that it was his very special day. "You are all invited back to my house," said Mr. Jack. And they went on an elephant, it would seem. And there it was at last. His very special, very big birthday cake. And there they all are, having a lovely time. He was a little dog in a big hurry, wasn't he? Well, there's a lot of mix-ups, but in the end, he gets to calm down with a nice cup of tea, and all was well. So that was Mr. Jack, a little dog in a big hurry, by Christine Moreton Shaw and Thomas N. Müller. I enjoyed that a great deal.